Examine a world on Earth where there was no sunrise, not once, not in a million years. A kingdom of eternal noon, where the air is never much more than a few degrees below freezing, and where stillness goes back further than civilization itself. This is not another planet. This is here. There is a darkness that lies below the surface of our ocean, and this darkness is so utter that even the idea of light has lost its meaning. The Mariana Trench lies in a non-light state. It is an immortal night, older than humankind. Whereas the world on the surface swings between seasons, the abyss has no season. Pressure, cold, silence. But what we are going to find will interfere with all we had ever imagined life might be like. Before we get into the details, if you want to experience more adventures into the unknown, please like and subscribe. It helps us continue these in-depth explorations. The deepest scar on planet Earth. The Mariana Trench is not a valley made in the ocean floor. It is a wound, a spot where the Earth rips itself open, millimeter by millimeter, year after year, so slowly and so fiercely that it cannot be conceived of even by humans. Imagine this: Earth as a living body. It does not have a solid crust, but is broken up into huge plates that move, bump together, and scratch each other. The location where one of these plates, the ancient Pacific plate, is being scraped under another, pushed deep into the hot mantle of the Earth, is the Mariana Trench. This is subduction, the process in which the Earth consumes and renews itself. This trench lies across the Pacific and spans 2,500 kilometers. It is the lowest point on our planet, deeper than any canyon, deeper than any valley. It is almost 11 kilometers under the waves, which is a vertical drop that would absorb Mount Everest and leave space to add another mountain on top of it. This is not merely geology. This is the planet in its movement, displaying its most primal powers in the single place that human beings can hardly access. But there is something there which lives. The pressure which breaks reality. On the surface, we exist in a single atmosphere of pressure. Comfortable, familiar, safe. But go into the Mariana Trench and all is different. Something monstrous. As you sink with every meter, the weight of the ocean over you increases. Every kilometer adds about 100 times the pressure we feel at the surface. At 5 kilometers, pressure reaches roughly 500 atmospheres. At the bottom of the trench, in Challenger Deep, the pressure is more than 1,000 atmospheres. This is no weight one can touch. This is weight that erases. Metal bends, electronics fail, air bubbles disappear as if they never came to be. A naked human would not just be flattened. Air-filled spaces would collapse instantly, crushing lungs and organs before the body could react. The same thing happens to sound, which travels faster in water, warping how it would be perceived by the human ear. The pressure at such depths is not just a physical force, it is an unseen killer that ruins the well-known laws of physics. Survival, as we know it, becomes physically impossible. But there has been, impossibly, a way of life. The last light dies. Light does not just vanish at sea. It fades, layer after layer, color after color, in a progressive extinction that is the line of demarcation between the world we are familiar with and the world we are terrified of. Life is abundant in the first 200 meters of the sunlit zone. There are phytoplankton blooms, schools of fish play in blue water, and color is present in all its variety. But as you get deeper down, it starts to take away what makes the surface world familiar. The first to disappear is red, which is taken up by the water molecules, then orange, then yellow. Even blue light rarely penetrates beyond several hundred meters. This is the twilight zone, the world of diminishing light in which living creatures evolve huge eyes to trap the final rays of light streaming through the clouds. Twilight ceases at a distance of 1 kilometer. There is no more sunlight. None. What now we have is the midnight zone, not the lack of light, but something which is more primordial, something primal. Color does not exist in this darkness. Warmth is a memory, and familiarity goes away altogether. But even here, where the reach of the sun has come to an end, there is yet something that glows. A quick reminder, subscribing and liking the video is the simplest way to support this channel. Things that should not be. Evolution has rewritten its rules in the midnight zone and further. Eyes have grown useless, and many animals have chosen to do away with their eyes altogether and to make use of touch and chemical signals instead. Some grow their eyes so big that they fill up all of their heads in the most absolute way conceivable in their attempt to seize the smallest amount of light. But the light which they perceive is not from above, it comes from within. It is the deep that speaks bioluminescence. It is communication. It is hunting. It is defense. Jellyfish move with spectral blue light. Squid flash patterns over their skin, living screens. Anglerfish are suspended with glowing lures as they attract prey to their jaws with needle teeth. But as you look further inward, the stranger is life. In this case, hard shells are a liability. Soft, gelatinous bodies are more survivable as they bend and flex under pressure which would have shattered bone. Snailfish are transparent and delicate fish that move in water at a depth where even underwater submersibles cannot. Ghost white giant amphipods eat whale falls, the submerged carcasses of whales which fall down from the surface and form their own ecosystems. One body of a whale is a feast in a famine area with the potential to nourish life for decades. These animals are not monsters, they are survivors, and they demonstrate that even in the most hostile of environments, life will flourish when given time. However, there is one more extreme zone, the Hadal zone, the last frontier on Earth. At a distance of more than 6 kilometers lies the Hadal zone, named after Hades, the Greek underworld. It is the last frontier on Earth, and a place that is so extreme that fewer people have reached the bottom of the Mariana Trench than have walked on the moon. There are 12 individuals who have been on the surface of the moon. The abyss has remained largely undisturbed, only ventured into by robotic probes which go down alone into the dark. This is not because we are not curious. This is because the Hadal zone opposes us. Each and every dive is pushed to the extreme. Humankind has launched spacecraft faster than the solar system and rovers on Mars, but even the inner world of our own Earth is nearly as foreign and unreachable. And what we have discovered there argues that we have hitherto only realized what the Hadal zone really possesses. Absolute darkness, new life found. All life on the surface is dependent on the sun, but in the deep ocean, including areas near trenches, life has rejected the sun completely. In this case, bacteria conduct chemosynthesis, creating sources of energy not based on light, but rather on chemicals that flow out of hydrothermal vents. These microorganisms provide the basis of a completely distinct food chain, a heat-powered, sulfur-powered, chemistry-powered food chain. Extremophiles can survive in environments that would kill the majority of life. They live in near-freezing water and survive at pressures which should rupture their cell structures. They are testaments of the fact that biology is stronger than we have ever thought. This finding raises one crucial question. If life can exist here without the aid of the sun, then where else can it be? The Mariana Trench is not only a window into the past of Earth, it is a window of the potentiality of life outside our world. But we have left our own mark in the abyss. Deep footprints of the human. Even the lowest point on Earth is not left untouched by humanity. Drifting down over decades, plastic bags have been discovered lying on the bottom of the trench. Microplastics have been found in the bodies of amphipods, which live far beneath the ocean depths, where no human has ever stood before. Pollutants do not disappear, they sink. The abyss is filled with heavy metals, industrial chemicals, and synthetic debris which concentrate in the sediments and living creatures who have no other escape. The prints of humanity have reached the bottom of the Earth, and the trench, with all its vastness, still remains a mystery. Less than 5% of the ocean bottom has been mapped in detail. The Mariana Trench is a foreign land. Down there, we have never seen many species, animals which have existed for millions of years to evolve and have never looked into the eyes of a human. The abyss is waiting, and has waited more than we have lived. You are also welcome to this journey, and it would be better to subscribe and turn on the notifications. If something still watches from the dark, what do you think it is? Leave your theories below. There are more mysteries on our planet to be solved next time, and you should not miss it.